Today we're talking with Kirolos Abdalla, the AI dudes, revolutionizing how businesses leverage AI. Kiro, thanks for being here today. Doing some great things with AI. It's all the latest craze everybody's talking about. So we really look forward to hearing that. But you have an interesting story. So take us back and tell us what it was like growing up in Egypt and then immigrating to the U.S.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe, for hosting me on your podcast. It's a pleasure. And yeah, so my name is Kirolos Abdalla, Kiro for short. And yeah, my story starts in Egypt. That's where I grew up. I was born in 2000, January 1st, 2000, so the first day of the 21st century.
Yeah.
Um, Lived a nice life in Egypt. And my dad was a entrepreneur since he was 19, so he's kind of running in the family. In 2017, my dad' business in Egypt was hit by a ransomware attack. So it was kind of a brutal wake-up call that changed everything for us. And that time, cybersecurity wasn't something we thought about deeply. We were running the businesses, he's handling operations, doing the most, companies do, um, trusting that, everything just works. But out of nowhere, suddenly everything was logged and hackers encrypted all the, business files, demanding ransom and that whole nine yard. The next, they usually ask for money to decrypt their information. They started using his emailing his business partners and our vendors in Europe. At this time, we had about um, 2,500 farmers and almost 200 admin staff across 16 different locations in Europe and Middle East.
Yeah. What kind of business was it?
It was like an agriculture business, so we grow vegetables and fruits in Egypt and export it to overseas, and we also import. At that time, it was really a chaos. My dad built that business, years of hard work, um, you know, facing impossible choice. It's either pay the criminals or risk losing everything.
Right.
And at that point, even paying the criminals wasn't a great option because at the end of the day, if you work with if you work with companies in Europe, and you are a threat like that, you're considered what they call a supply chain threat. So they immediately terminate all contracts. You can't work, you can work with them anymore. Lose of your reputation, and
Yeah.
all of that. So at that moment, kind of lost everything. Had to pay a lot of lawsuits and everything was
Yeah.
gone. At that specific moment, I realized how businesses are really vulnerable, especially in Egypt. And then, I- you know, thought about being in cybersecurity, AI, and technology in general, so I can help, businesses not to fall in the same trap as what happened to my dad, especially when being an entrepreneur, there's a lot that you don't know on your own, and you need, people to tell you what to do and what do you need to do. And It takes a lot to learn. And basically, I seen it firsthand. So I wanted to dedicate my life into technology, and help people down the road with technology, cybersecurity and IT and AI, the whole suite.
Awesome. All right, back talking with Kiro from the AI dudes. So, Kiro, you could tell us a little bit about when you first came to the U.S. and what kind of opportunities were available to you and what you did to get a foothold in the American dream.
Right. Yeah. So moving here, we moved in December 2019, where as everybody listening right now remembers what happened after 2 months,
Right before COVID hit.
right before COVID. So
Yeah.
we moved in to family's house, and everybody says, "Come in, you're gonna find a job right away. Everybody here is welcome." And next thing you know, I never got a job before, but being spoiled in Egypt and all of that, so kind of got hit by a pizza shop. So
Mm.
my first job was at a pizza place.
Uh-huh.
And then I was doing everything, making pizzas, dealing with customers, handling the rush, cleaning up at the end of the night. and it was kind of fast paced that sometimes chaotic, and I was never, you know, I never dealt with those kind of jobs. Um, back home, I never did anything. I had maids, drivers, everything I can get. But I believe those experiences taught me how to work under pressure, keep customers happy, no matter how stressful things got.
Hmm.
Um, but couldn't make it so much in the food industry. Moved to a dry cleaning business. So I worked at a dry cleaning business. Um, but there's always a problem for me when I'm working at any business or any company that I'm working at, which was I think out of the box, and I have ideas and I want to help,
Hmm.
not just do my job. And that's always not received the right way with the owner or the managers.
Yeah.
And 2 months later, COVID hits and I'm diabetic. I was scared to death. I had to stay home. 8 months down the road, I get a job at Walmart after my paperwork came in. I can just go start working
Uh-huh.
for a bigger corporate America. Um, and did amazing job. Started getting promotions, but also the same problem. I have ideas. I'm out of the box. Um, and I just keep, discussing that with my team leads, with my managers, and they keep telling me, "You gotta stay in your lane. You don't need to step on toes because that's not how it works here."
Yeah.
And I felt like, I think my dad gave me that virus called entrepreneur, and I need to take it from there.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of a wake up call again. I felt like I'm meant to be in this since I was young. I wanted to do something like my dad, but I never knew what it is.
Hmm.
And my love to tech and cybersecurity and AI and all of that um, kind of pushed me into starting my first own business,
Yeah. We always
which was
talk about like people that maybe didn't grow up being an entrepreneur, they got jobs and whatever point in life they finally convert over to being an entrepreneur for a while and maybe their first business wasn't a big success. They try to go back and get a job and then they discover that they've become unemployable because of their mindset. Once you convert over to being an entrepreneur, it's really hard to go back to working for somebody else because like you said, you see things in a different way. You have too many ideas. You can't just put your nose down and do your job like you're told and not be thinking about. Oftentimes, like you're in your actual normal job, you're constantly coming up with better ways, more efficient ways to do things. Why are we doing things? But it just comes across as you're questioning the boss all the time and being lazy instead of just doing your job. So
That's true.
certainly, certainly can relate to what it's like to cross over that. But you pretty much grew up in entrepreneurship, so it was really hard for you to convert over at all to doing a job. But coming to the U.S., basically, you guys starting over with nothing. You guys had to do something, and so how did you get out of some of those initial jobs you had as a young guy? You're only like 18, 19 years old at this point. How did you get into tech and cybersecurity and AI and everything else?
So, when I got diabetes when I was 12, and I was forced to be homeschooled, and my only friend is my computer. Um, Figuring out, computers, YouTube, and then you can just take anything off YouTube and learn it.
Yeah.
Um, and that was one of the ways I broke into tech world. I remember since I was a kid, I loved computers. I loved, I was a critical thinker. I loved to know how stuff works and those technology was something that always interested me. Fixing computers to my family when I was a kid, so, something breaks, a friend or a relative, that was the that was the thing for me when I was a kid. So I thought, all right, this is the skill I know right now. Let's just go start a business. And I was so naive into it. As every entrepreneur starts in the beginning, doesn't really know anything. I didn't even know how to file for an LLC, and I had to go pay an accountant to, $500 to start an LLC.
Mhm.
Obviously, 5 years down the road, now I know LLC only costs 150, but you learn those you
Yep.
learn those
State
things.
website and do it yourself. Yep.
Yeah, but not just that, a lot that I learned throughout those last 5 years. But yeah, I just looked at that skill that I know that I can utilize. I looked it up. Okay, there's people who would like to pay for your IT services. That was not really focused on cybersecurity. I was just focusing on IT. I'll go fix your computer. I'll go fix your printer.
Yeah.
And it was a one-man show, um, you know, business. I just fix computers. Go to houses, fix your computer, get paid. But I knew that this is not um, this is not scalable.
Yep.
I needed something that I basically, congrats to me, I just bought a job for myself. I did not build a business. Can I get out of that business and that business still makes money? And that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of stepped out of that just IT work
So how
and
did
went to
at that young of an age, your first attempt at starting your own business, how did you have that awareness where you're like, okay, my business relies completely on me fixing the computer or fixing the printer. I can't ever scale and go beyond this. Like, there's a lot of people spend their entire life doing the work and never really build a business.
Yeah, that was not really my first rodeo. I started early when I was 12. I did some other, I'm not gonna call full blown up businesses, but always thought about scaling up. I seen my dad doing it, but I just, I just wanted to find a way. So I did other businesses when I was younger, but at that point specifically, I was looking at it because okay, I'm bringing about $10,000 a month, 15 at the most. How can I scale more than that?
Yeah.
How can I get bigger? And I just looked at it. It's only trading time to dollars, and there has to be another way, and that's how I wanted to, step away from just doing that simple task and getting bigger. Um, just started an IT company that works with, um, not corporate, commercial. Like basically, we provide IT and cybersecurity for businesses that doesn't have an IT department in-house, can't afford to have a full staff. So we just come in and they fix your computers. And moving forward 2, 3 years after that, I started and sold multiple businesses. I played into different industries, and every single time I run into the same problem when I'm starting a business, which constantly bogged down with manual tasks, customer service or sales, following up with leads, handling inquiries,
Mm-hmm.
um, managing pipelines, whatever it is in that whole process. I realized that a lot of those things could be automated. And that's when the AI dudes um, came to life.
Yeah. So what was your when did AI really come on the horizon? Not like when it first actually started happening, but when did you first start noticing AI and realize the potential of it?
So I, when I was in middle school, I wanted to pursue AI and machine learning in college, and that's what I was trying to get in there. But my always looked at it as it's not as popular. There's not a lot of demand on, AI. Obviously, not the case now.
Yeah.
But always it was in the back of my mind. Um, and that was when I tried to go to college in 2019 and I left school. I did not complete school, did not finish, but that was still in AI and machine learning. So I had it always was always on my mind, but it just, um, you know, 2021 made it a little bit different for the whole world. Everybody now knows what AI is. It took me a hard time back in time to explain what is AI to my family, some of my friends. It was not as popular as it is right now. You
Yeah.
couldn't get as good of a job as you can get now or open a business. The demand was not as good as now.
Yeah.
So
So it's
yeah,
really only been the last 2, 3 years that it's rapidly accelerated. Now a lot of your
true.
regular businesses are embracing it.
That's true. Now, mom and pop shops are using AI. Um, Blue collar businesses are using AI, and it's not as expensive as it used to be. AI now can do a lot of, the crazy tasks that used to take a lot of times, and all the work that is a repetitive task or time consuming.
So which
So,
one do you like? Which one do you like, Chat GPT or you like Grok?
well, there's a lot. There's about 24 LLMs right now. I
Really?
my top choice all the time is ChatGPT, OpenAI. But when I'm talking about AI, when what we are doing as a company,
Uh,
it's more of combined between all those large language modules and creating an AI employee that works for a business.
can you
It
give
does
some
tasks.
examples? Like, can you give some examples of a business, maybe that you worked with, like you mentioned, a blue collar business or a mom and pop
Yeah.
shop? Give some examples of where your typical business has effectively used AI and how they've done it.
So, like for example, we have a roofing company,
Okay.
right? It's one of our clients, and the roofing company gets leads through ads. They're running ads to get leads. Those leads needs to be followed up with, needs to be qualified. They have to have this kind of criteria, this kind of insurance, so that roofer can work with them.
Hmm.
That is time consuming. That's usually done by the owner himself and his wife. So how we implemented AI is we sat with the owner and his wife. We learned about their process, how they talk to their leads, what is the qualification process, all the way to booking an actual inspection appointment for his team to go on site and give a quote.
Okay.
And we took that process, teach it to the AI, and now what happens is the minute a lead comes in through Facebook ads, Instagram, or emails, or text messages, WhatsApp, any kind of messaging channel, AI picks up that lead, talk to it, you know, provide any information they need to know about the company, the roofing company, and collect any information, qualify the lead, and ultimately book an appointment, and all of that without lifting a finger.
And
So
how does that AI employee talk to the lead? Like on the phone or via chat, text?
we it's 90% over text, so that's Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs or text messages, emails, WhatsApp, but we also do provide that over the voice, so AI that talks over the phone.
The AI can actually talk to a potential customer, and the customer doesn't realize does the customer actually think they're talking to a person?
No, because we do clone the owner's voice. So we bring the owners to our office here in Daytona Beach
Yeah.
at the airport. And we do have a studio where we record their voice and clone it. Uh, so my own cloned voice has my accent, uses my arms, as you can tell, I've been using those quite in the call. So it talks like me. Yeah.
Really?
So
So
yeah.
so our customers actually potential customers are actually talking to AI, and they think they're talking to the owner or his wife.
Yep.
And you can't tell for
You
most of
have to
the
be
time.
really, like you have to be really around AI or have been using it. The typical customer doesn't really catch it. We add office noise to the phone call so you don't hear, like it's not like just silent. So
Yeah.
you can, you hear somebody typing. The AI will say, "All right, let me check here. I see an availability maybe tomorrow." And then, talks like that. So there is a tone, there's a personality. Um, we literally just tell the AI who you are and how do you talk.
Because
Um,
so maybe you can help me out on this. Like, I deal with, on some, I'm ordering something off of somebody's website or something, and it says chat with us, and you click on chat with us, and it says, "Oh, you're talking to Kiro," and I can tell instantly that it's not a person. Like by the question I ask and the answer they give me, I'm like, okay, I'm talking to a bot. And usually I'll say, "Are you a bot or are you a person?" I ask them right off the bat, and then they it typically didn't like that. So that's like my experience with, and that's just chatting, let alone actually talking with artificial intelligence. I mean, that's incredible. I've never had an experience. Well, at least I don't think I have. Talking with it, I've actually had a conversation with an AI assistant, helping me through a problem or process. So that's
yeah, there's a lot of players in the game now. So the thing is, a lot of times those chatbots are not optimized to talk like us. This is the whole deal. We're not trying to deceive users to think that they're talking to humans or they're talking to AI, but we're trying to make the experience, similar to
Yeah.
how humans do.
I would say if I found out I was talking to an AI, but they answered all my questions and I got what I needed, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care
Yeah,
if it's a person or not. I really don't.
exactly.
As long as I get, but I usually when I call somebody when you're on a phone tree, tell us why you're calling. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Because I know my problem isn't going to be solved by a category, by pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's old phone tree type technology. Um, like
Yeah.
how long does it take you to like this use the roofing company example? How long does it take you to set something like this up?
We typically spend about a couple of weeks from in to out with, if everything goes in the right way, we usually sit on a 2-hour call at the beginning of the process to learn about their process, the business process, and every business is different. We work with different businesses, and like for example, we had over 100 car detailer that we built AI for. But still, every time there is a little bit of a change between each, so we learn the process, how they want the AI to sound like, the tone, the persona, and everything. We launch it in about 7 days after that discovery call, and then we give about 7 days for testing and refining, and that's about it. There's always monitoring and development. For example, we launched an AI for real estate wholesalers and investors,
Mm-hmm.
and we launched in September. In November, we witnessed it started to catch feelings like empathy. So was talking to a homeowner, and they stopped responding, and they got back to the AI and said, "Sorry, my husband just died, and I'm kind of in the best situation." The AI started to feel empathy and also said, well, I would love to follow up when needed, and then followed up after 6 weeks to check on her in context of her husband dying. I know you, so now you're probably looking in flipping that house or trying to find a way out. So it is developing
Like
really fast.
somehow the AI developed empathy on its own, like you didn't even program that in there.
We do have a limitation. We kind of barricade it to not, get out. Always we always say, be of good customer service, be as human as possible. So in AI now, it does have the capability to have that kind of empathy. Just because that's what happens if it's a human. Like if you are an agent and your client says, "My husband died," you should talk that way.
Yeah.
So it's just getting better.
Wow, that's cool. Um, what kind of numbers can you share with this? Like how many clients do you have so far? Have you helped so far?
Um, Numbers, exact numbers. I try not to get into exact numbers, but we're over 200 right now, over 200 clients. But let's just say, we had months where revenue hit 6 figures so far. So
Yeah.
that's as far as the business. And we deployed AI assistants across multiple industries. As I said, real estate, all the way to like dental practices, loan companies, and one of our AI bots booked over 100 appointments in 30 days, which was insane for the customer.
And it
Uh,
wow, that's
yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. Holy cow. Um, okay, so if somebody wants, what's your website or how do we get a hold of you? Tell us about that.
the website is raqib.io. That's our website, and on the website there's a quick demo, shows the capabilities of the AI. On the right bottom side, you can talk to the virtual Kiro, my clone. You can talk to it. It's going to tell you the best use case for your specific business, how to use AI and in your business. And there's a book a call with us on the top. You can book a call and talk directly to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What is it again? RAQID.
IB. So Bravo. Yeah, .io.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we are getting close to the end of our time, Kiro. I'm still baffled. I mean, I've been watching AI and I've been using Chat GBT and using Grok on X, which is Elon Musk's version of,
That's a nice one.
yeah. And actually pretty amazed at like doing simple stuff. Like I had a big list of questions and answers and I wanted it formatted and changed around in a different way. And I didn't realize that you could give it to it the first time. And if it doesn't give you everything you want, then you say, okay, that looks good, but do this, this, and this also. Okay, take out this. And then once I saw a demonstration on that, I'm like, okay, now I got it. It's actually, additive. It's not just a one
Right.
thing. Um, that was a big eye opener for me. But you've just, really opened my eyes to the
Yeah.
capabilities of AI and everything. That's incredible. So, yeah. Um, anyways, so usually what I like to ask when we finish up is, if from the context of being an entrepreneur, if you're talking to somebody out there that's maybe been working at a job, grew up that way with employee mindset, but they really want to get out on their own, become an entrepreneur, run their own business, run their own show, what kind of advice comes to mind for them?
Um, it's well, let me start with a heads up. It's a night and day job once you get out of a job.
It ain't
So,
easy.
it's not easy. If you think if you're looking, a job gives you structure, steady paycheck, clear responsibilities. Being entrepreneur, you eat what you kill. There's no guaranteed paycheck. You either make it happen or you don't eat. So, and I feel that's a good thing, especially for, being a man, that pressure push you to think differently,
Mhm.
problem solve, faster, and, take ownership of everything. Um, the trade-off, maybe a little bit of a freedom in the beginning. Um, you control your time, your income, your future. Biggest advice that I would give, that I always been telling people, is seek consulting, mentorship. There's a lot of people around you that been through the same situation,
Mhm.
and they can just give you some shortcuts. Um, and that's mainly what I learned. I started with, my dad is my mentorship. He tells me, and I seen it firsthand with him, being in business his whole life.
Mhm.
So yeah, always ask for help, and never I never say no to a coffee chat. Every time when someone wants to talk,
Mhm.
you always learn something from a peer or from another entrepreneur. Listening to podcasts like this, reading books that talks about entrepreneurship. Um, Books are like an interview with that author. He
Yeah.
puts everything he knows in the book. So yeah, those are my advices.
Awesome. Well, Kira, thanks for sharing your entrepreneurial success story and your American immigrant success story. Also, like
Thank you.
I think I told you this before we started the interview. Like, you first generation immigrants, in my opinion, make some of the best Americans. Because you didn't grow up in it, and you don't take advantage of what we have here in the U.S. So,
And we don't take
but
it for guaranteed, because, you come in here and then gotta hustle.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks for sharing your success story, and look forward to seeing your future success.
Thank you so much, Joe.
All right, or Oscar Mike.